Artifact taken. RNA has possession. Artifact dropped. Artifact returned.
Go bridge. One human, call the tunnel.
Heal up.
Two enemies, calm side.
RNA wins. Game on. Artifact taken. RNA has artifact dropped. Artifact returned. Lineage wins. Game on.
One human, executive tunnel. One human, middle. Two enemies, executive tunnel. Two enemies, executive side.
I was doing what in your party? It wasn't me then, it was probably the smoking. No, I wasn't talking. No. It was probably Moken talking. We're watching a video in the background. Nah. It's the word, turd. Cool, cool. Not a dual, quad. I like the feel of a quad brake for my foot brake, but you can put whatever you want. You just have to push the dual caliper a little bit harder. It's less forgiving. Like if you're doing a little sit down circle on a 4-piston, for one, they have a lot more braking force, and for two, they like stay cooler longer. So if you plan on just doing footwork for days, but you're I mean, it's just whatever you want to. If you've never had a 4-piston as a foot brake, it's an upgrade. But at the same time, you don't have to press it as hard. Like you literally can use your big toe to lock that rear brake up. Well, but you're also squeezing it with one finger instead of pushing your foot on it. The Yeah, but it doesn't matter because they don't push the same amount of fluid. That 4-piston's pushing more fluid than the 2-piston because you're squeezing one lever and pushing 4 cylinders. No, because the fluid that's in there is what's squeezing. It doesn't matter how much fluid is in the system. When you squeeze the brake, it's going to compress the fluid. That's why you have to bleed the brake until it gets to like that sweet spot. But I like a 4-piston on the foot, and I like a 4-piston on the handbrake. Yeah, get a used one on eBay. You don't. You want to use the Yamaha. You want to use a Yamaha because they're the M blocks. The pads are not as expensive as the Brembo, and the 4-piston mono lock or whatever that design is from Yamaha is like one of the best. Like for every bike, like for my Gixxer, I had to get a front left caliper for my handbrake because of the bleeder position. So you're going to end up getting both front, left, and right. You could just get on eBay and order an MT-07 or whatever whatever Yamaha has monoblock. It doesn't matter what year, as long as it fits your handbrake bracket. You're going to be running it on the top and the bottom because of the way your bracket's set up. Yeah, but you don't need 3. You don't need a dual foot brake and a quad foot brake. It doesn't matter. You're going to run it where you're going to run it. Like the cutout could be at the top, the cutout could be at the back. It's how whatever bracket you bought. Right, but no, you're not going to do that. You're going to run one for each.
Attrition. Game on.
It doesn't matter where they go as long as there's on there. It's
Artifact dropped. Artifact returned.
Yep. Nope. You're gonna replace all the lines. You're gonna do stainless steel lines, the new banjos, the new crush washers.
Apartment side.
Well, I'm just saying that then you need banjos for all around. And you don't know exactly what banjos they're gonna use. It's kind of like the
2 enemies under Belmont.
you got a curved one, a straight one, or slightly
Artifact
curved
taken.
one.
Artifact dropped.
Your banjo, your brakes, see?
Artifact taken.
Sometimes when
RNA
they're
has
straight,
possession.
they always don't work. You gotta have some that are at 35 degrees, some that are at 45 degrees, some that are at 90. I'm just saying that they can sell you anything that comes in a kit, but sometimes you have to go and buy things like that. Like
1 elf, ramp to elevator.
they'll sell you a kit because it probably works, but does it work the best? Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say, but I'm just saying things like that you have to be prepared to buy again.
Artifact dropped. Lineage
Well, you can
wins.
assume whatever you want to assume, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. I'm just telling you. Like especially that's different though. That's different. They use your motor mount holes to drill that. Just because some
Game
company
on.
sells you brake line fittings in a brake line doesn't mean that it's going to work perfectly for your application when you're putting brakes on upside down and backwards. It's kind of hard to
Artifact-
get, especially if you're going
artifact
to run two
Artifact
4-piston
taken. Lineage has
calipers.
possession.
Maybe
Sewer
that
under
brake line they
billboards.
sent you was supposed
Artifact
to be
dropped.
for that position or vice versa. Just the smallest things matter.
2 enemies.
And your front brakes, your brake lines are also going to need to be replaced because you're raising your handlebars fucking 6 inches. So you got to replace both of
Artifact
your front
return.
brake lines as well. And that's $100 easy because the brake lines are, $50 a piece. Plus you got to buy all the fittings and the banjos and all the right angles, and that's what I'm talking about.
Artifact taken.
Because-
Artifact dropped.
For your front brake, you want to get a dual banjo,
Artifact dropped.
which is like a single banjo bolt with 2 spots, because instead of having your brakes go from one master cylinder to one caliper, and then having a double banjo bolt on your caliper that splits the brake pressure to both calipers,
Artifact
you want
returned.
to have a single line to each caliper going from your master. That's a better way to do your front brakes. Yeah, does that make sense? So, no, single line brake lines, especially when you run stainless steel, are better to have than joints. Like what I'm saying is,
Artifact
you would
taken.
run an
Lineage has
individual
possession.
line from your foot brake to your caliper instead of running a banjo bolt to your foot brake
Artifact dropped.
and then running a hand brake to your foot brake. You see what I'm saying? Because then you're using two brakes for the same thing, and on the front it's the same way. Like, if you look at your bike real close, you have a short little
Artifact
brake line
taken.
that
Lineage
goes over
has
your
possession.
front fender from one caliper to the other. It's just a joining brake line. The right way to do it would be to buy two lines, you know, one of them being longer than the other one, but both of them left
Artifact
and right
dropped.
caliper running to your front brake instead of having one
Artifact
line
taken.
longer than the
Lineage has
other and
possession.
then one line that's a jumper from one caliper to the other. You will, because your
Artifact
handlebars
dropped.
are going to be a lot longer. By the time you mount your front brake caliper on your new handlebars with your new riser and
Lineage
your new
wins.
triple tree setup, and you're going to need all new clutch cable, all new throttle cable, all new brake line left and right. Yeah, so you either take your cables,
Game on.
I'm just telling you.
Artifact taken. Lineage artifact dropped.
Two enemies, Billboard 2. Two enemies, Billboard 2.
Artifact returned.
Garden Alley. Two enemies, Garden Alley. Under Elmore.
Lineage wins.
Yeah, once you get your triple tree on and your
Game on.
handlebars all set up and your fit all positioned, you just need to take a tape measure and measure each side. And you'll have like a 32-inch line and a 39-inch line or whatever, and then you'll have to go buy all the banjo bolts for that.
One human, Billboard Road. One more, Tower Alley.
And you got to get a chain breaker tool and sprockets, and you got to do all your get it all lined up as far forward as you can get it before you cut the chain, and put all your new wheel blocks in and all that other gay shit you got. You don't know how it's gonna work yet.
Two enemies, Mount.
Artifact taken. RNA has possession. RNA wins.
Then you gotta buy all new,
Game on.
whatever that brand is called, 3300,
Artifact
Motul,
take,
33
artifact
or
drop.
6600 brake fluid, and then you gotta fill the whole system up with that shit, and then
Artifact taken. Lineage has possession. Artifact dropped.
well, the Motul is expensive because the temperature is rated at.
Artifact returned.
And I like the Magura master cylinder, and it also depends on what master you buy. Like the 16 by 18 is a different feel than the, 13 by 16 or. Well, that might be the whole thing. You might not like how squishy that Brembo is. I like the Magura. It seems to be a little stiffer. But I'm also running it on a 4 piston, not a 2 piston, which makes a big difference too. After running a 4 piston foot brake, I would never run a 2 piston again because you're like amount of like tiredness, like just from like pushing a brake. Like say I'm trying to work on like kangaroos or like coming in and turning sideways, like say I'm brake sliding in for like a drift or something. It's just, you could do it 100 more times on a 4 piston. than a 2
RNA
piston.
wins.
You're pushing so much harder with your foot. To physically lock up the brake. But I've also never ran a Yamaha 4
Game
piston.
on.
I always ran the, whatever the Yamaha brand is, Suyukin or Yiko or.
Artifact dropped. Let's go.
One over the pit.
Artifact returned.
The triple has what holes on it? Right. Yeah, then that also means you got to buy aftermarket, reservoir holders and hoses. And if you only bought a handbrake master, then you're going to be reusing your stock front brake master. I know, I'm just saying. Instead of buying 2 Maguras or 2 Brembo levers, that's $1,200.
RNA wins.
They're like $400 to $600 for a handbrake. Yeah, times 2 though is what I'm saying. But by the time you buy
Game on.
$100 brake line times 2 and fittings times 6
Artifact taken.
and new
Liddy.
cross
Artifact
washers
dropped.
yeah, I do. I'm just telling you that there's a lot of other expenses that you don't plan on paying for, so. Yeah, I understand.
Need backup. Hideout alley.
Well, I would buy a used caliper like online, you know, and if need be, buy new pads for it, or if need be, buy a rebuild kit for it. Well, you don't need to. If you could get on Instagram and say looking for a set of Yamaha 4 pistons, and there'll be somebody on there that's like, hey, I got a pair $100 shipped, and you get 2 of them, and then put new pads in there. They're not worn out.
RNA wins.
Yeah, but it's still cheaper to put a rebuild kit in a set of calipers than it is to buy one new. And I did. I bought used ones and didn't do anything but put new pads in them. For both. And then you got to think. Then now you're running like 3 sets of EBC pads. You know what I mean? And you run your fucking bike all summer long, and then you're like, oh fuck, I gotta do new pads. And you're replacing front and rear pads times 4. And you're like, god damn, I didn't know it was gonna cost me $160 to do new brake pads on my bike.
Artifact taken. Lineage
Yeah,
has
I'm-
artifact dropped.
Yeah, that one finger lever, those monoblock things in the rear. There's a lot of things that you're buying that so easy to just get away with and then do at a later time.
Artifact returned.
Billboard alley. Clear.
Yeah, but those are only good if you like right when you do either save those until you rebuild the fork, or save those until you put brand new fork tools in it. 'Cause,
Billboard alley.
I mean, well, yeah, but if you've already been riding it and there's already dirt in there. Well, you could try and clean them and then install them, but I would.
Game on.
Need backup. Sewer under apartment. 2 enemies.
Yeah, you don't need a Brembo. You get the Yamaha one. Get on eBay and look up a used monoblock or whatever that brake caliper is called. And then just get a left and right set. You don't need mirror block tops. Just take your mirrors off. but you don't need them now.
One human.
Yeah.
Sewer under billboards. One human over the pitch.
Mirror block off for $1,000. I mean 100. Spend money on your chain and profit and handlebar stuff. I only seen one's profit.
Lineage wins. Game on.
Metal clear. One human over the pitch. Backyard low. Two enemies. Billboard balcony. Backup. Backyard low.
Well, usually there's like another
enemies, friends
Yamaha
from
bike, like a four-wheeler, like a YZF 450 or some other thing that you'll use. Instead of having somebody just make one to length, there's always something that usually works. Like, you just have to know what it is or read the forums, or you're like, hey, I'm building an R7, what's the brake on it? And just be like, oh, I use a 06 11 YZF 450 four-wheeler cable, or you just have to know like what the ends look like, or you could have somebody build one. If you know, we used to have a place in town that did that. He doesn't exist anymore. That was the one thing I got mad at Jason for not letting me have, like the cable making kit. He bought all the spark plugs and all the tires and all that stuff, and I said, yeah, bro, but like, what about all that cable making stuff? And he's like, just let it go. I'm like, dude, that's where the money's at. Like, you literally could just have a business making cable.
Lineage wins.
Because everybody would, like Ricky would be like, oh, I'm building an F4i and I need a long cable, and I'd have to get him like a TRX Honda 450 or something. And the shitty part is I had like a spare. Like I had a long custom one for my bike, and then I actually had a spare. Because I actually broke one time in Colorado in the middle of nowhere. So I was riding my bike around in the mountains with no clutch. Sucked. Sucked butt. I was like so tired of shifting gears and trying to catch neutral. I was literally starting my bike like in first gear. Letting the old starter push me around. What are those calipers called? What is that style caliper called? The front, the bike one on yours, what's it called?
Attrition.
Yeah, that's Nissan. It's Nissan. There's used Brimbos on here
Game
right
on.
here. FZ.
Artifact taken.
Here's a
Lineage has
left-hand four
possession.
piston for $40. And you could buy new cylinder, new pucks
Move
and
front
bushings
ramps.
for $15,
Move
bro.
front ramps.
You could literally buy a
Office
set of
bridge
2
clear
front
from
brake
ramp.
calipers for Yamaha and YZF. I'm gonna say
Move
Yamaha
red ramp.
R7 front brake
Artifact
caliper.
dropped.
$159, dude, right now.
Artifact taken. Lineage
eBay.
has possession.
There's your best bet right there. You just get them both like this.
4 enemies. Basement. 1 enemies. Basement.
Instead of spending $400 on
Need
one,
backup.
Artifact
Break room.
dropped.
we gotta have Daddy show you how to save some money.
Need backup. Break room. Need backup. Break room.
Artifact returned.
You get on eBay.com, you type in Yamaha R7. I said, I found some online. You're gonna have Daddy show you how to save some money instead of spending $400 per
Basement ramp.
caliper. They're not. Who cares? If they're used, it means they work good. You don't need to spend $400 on a caliper when you can get the exact same caliper times 2 for $120. It ships to your door. Spend the money on brake pads and EBC and new clips or a rebuild kit. And by the time you like take the pins out and polish the pins and like actually do a real, yeah, bro, I'm telling you, because it'll cut down on like resistance and stuff. Because if you got a bunch of like pins that are pot molded, it's just like on your gun and you sat there and
Lineage
shined them up and
wins.
polished them until they were slick as snot and then put a little grease on there and then slap them together. Oh my goodness, it make a world of difference. Trust me, I watch many videos of guys doing 500-foot stoppies talking about how meticulously they clean their brakes.
Game on.
And it's all the stuff that when you do like a regular brake job that you don't replace,
Move coffin side.
all the little clips and
Move
pins,
coffin
and
side.
Artifact taken. Lineage
little
has
O-rings.
possession. Artifact dropped.
Move basement ramp.
Artifact taken. Lineage has possession.
Damn, I just got ran up on. Run up
Artifact
on.
dropped.
Need backup. Basement ramp. Need backup. Basement ramp.
I haven't talked to Randy for like a year either, but last time that I talked to him, I had a motorcycle left in his garage that I wasn't using. I wonder if it's still there.
2 enemies. Basement ramp.
Artifact taken. Lineage has possession. Artifact dropped. Artifact returned. Lineage wins. Game on.
Move coffin side.
Artifact
Move,
taken.
basement
Lineage
ramp.
has possession.
Move. Basement ramp.
Artifact dropped.
Need backup. Basement ramp. One more. Basement. Need backup. Basement ramp. Need backup. Basement ramp.
Artifact returned.
Need backup. Basement ramp. 3 enemies. Need backup. Basement ramp. 2 enemies. Need backup. Basement ramp. 2 enemies. Need backup. Basement ramp. 3 enemies.
Oh my goodness.
Artifact taken. Lineage has possession.
2 enemies.
Artifact dropped.
Station. 3 enemies.
Artifact taken. Lineage has possession.
1 enemy. Basement. 1 enemy. Basement.
Lineage wins.
Oh, it's getting live at 5 in here now.
Game on.
And do you know if your axle things are like
Artifact taken. Lineage. Artifact
designed to
dropped.
give you the most adjustment, or are they designed to push the back tire back automatically, or
1 more. 2 enemies.
Artifact returned.
3 enemies. Office bridge. 2 enemies. Office bridge. 2 enemies. Office.
oh my god, that was all bad. What kind of chain did you even get?
Office bridge. Clear.
Did they give you some X ring or O ring or Z ring? Hello?
Artifact taken. Lineage has possession. Artifact dropped.
You leave me?
Lineage wins. Game on.
Move. Basement backup. Coffin ramp. Move. Basement ramp. Need backup. Redwood. Two enemies. Office. Need backup. Office roof. One more. Ladder side.
got whiffled.
Need backup. Coffin ramp. One human. Red room. Need backup. Red room. Need backup. Ladder sign.
Look out!
Need backup. Front door. One dwarf. Station floor.
Artifact taken. RNA has possession. RNA wins.
Damn.
Game on.
One human. Ladder sign.
Artifact taken. Lineage has possession. Artifact dropped.
Need backup. Coffin ramp.
Artifact returned.
One more. Catwalks low. Two enemies behind office.
Artifact taken.
Four
Lineage
enemies
has possession.
behind office. Four enemies. Top ramps. One ladder sign.
Artifact dropped.
Two enemies. Alcove. One human. Basement. One human. Catwalks low.
Artifact returned. Lineage wins.
Catwalks high. Clear. One out. Station floor. Need backup. Coffin side. One hit. Top ramps. Two enemies. Station floor. One human, catwalks low. One out, front yard.
Can you hear me, Ryan?
Artifact taken. RNA has possession. Artifact dropped.
Yo, can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me?
Artifact returned. Artifact taken. RNA has possession. Replanted. 30 seconds remaining.
Tower, clear.
Ten seconds remaining. RNA wins. Game on. Good tree, brother.
Red ramp, clear. Front yard, clear. Two enemies, sniper tower. One human, sniper tower.
Artifact taken. Artifact dropped.
One human, sniper tower.
Artifact returned.
Two enemies, artifact platform. One human, front yard. One human, two enemies, station. Two enemies, station. Two enemies inside station. One, office roof. basement ramp.
Artifact taken. Lineage
6
has
enemies
possession.
office. 6 enemies office.
Artifact dropped. Artifact returned.
Need backup. Ladder sight.
Artifact taken. Lineage wins.
Analysis of the object have been so seldom trajectory that serial schemes theorize that it's what they call a demi-physical manifestation of the cyclic pattern, allows to intentionally navigate in the last age. But like what, they have no ideas, of course. The epicenter is likely where it will start if all goes according to the current model. Kate was working in a pen, though it's not evident whether that path he began after he realized the potential result of the fork. efforts from elsewhere, or whether he knew the likely results of his actions, was doomed, or had his own hidden agenda, is not possible to ascertain with certainty. Some of his zealots are propagating the predictable myths concerning his intentions of his demise.
Attrition. Game on.
One out, dwarf side. Troll antechamber clear. One human island. Dwarf hall clear. One troll, dwarf hall.
Artifact taken. RNA has possession.
One out, key room. One out, troll hall. Two enemies, troll hall.
RNA wins.
Clear.
Game on.
One human under LPG. Two enemies, no destruction. One out, dwarf ledge. Two enemies, dwarf hall.
Oh, little boy.
Game on.
Inspection.
Fire in the hole!
Door backup. Door antechamber. Door side clear. North side. Door lock. Door side clear. Door lock. Move. Door hall. Move. Precipice. Backup. Upstairs. One elf. Key room. One elf. Dwarf antechamber.
RNA wins. Game on.
Move. Floor. One elf. Control stairs.
Artifact dropped. Artifact taken. RNA has possession.
Move. Floor.
Artifact dropped.
Two enemies. Floor. One here. Control hall. Control hall.
Artifact
Door
returned.
side. Two enemies. Door side.
Artifact taken. RNA has artifact dropped.
Move. One out. Floor. Open side. Two enemies. Door hall. Need backup. Open side. Two enemies.
Artifact returned.
One out. Door hall. Three enemies. Door hall. Door hall. Two enemies. Door side. Door side. Door side. Door hall. Two enemies. Door side. Two enemies. Door hall.
Oh, cracking no.
Move. Floor.
Lineage wins. Game on.
Two enemies door side north position.
Game's so awesome. Ninjas in hot water, boys. Hot water.
Wow, control stairs. Move, floor. One floor, control side platform. 3 enemies, control side platform. Control stairs, clear. Need backup, control stairs. Need backup, control stairs. Move, control stairs. Two enemies, control stairs. Two enemies, floor.
Lineage wins.
I should have never went for that res.
Game on.
Move, floor. Two enemies, dwarf side. One human, dwarf side platform. One floor, dwarf position. One dwarf, floors. One human, dwarf position. Two enemies, dwarf anti-chain backup, floor. One human, precipice. One dwarf, floor. Need backup, dwarf anti-chain.
Oh, he got me, bro. Good for him. That's what I get for having 1 point left.
Dwarf hall clear.
RNA wins. Game on.
One dwarf, floor. One out, dwarf side platform. Two enemies, floor. Dwarf hall clear. backup. Control stairs. Door hall. Control side platform. Control side platform. Floor. Control side platform. Control side control side platform. Floor clear. 2 enemies. Floor. Back on the range. 2 enemies.
Artifact taken. RNA has possession. Artifact dropped.
1 out. Floor. Floor clear.
Artifact returned.
Move. Floor. 2 enemies.
Artifact taken. RNA has possession.
2 enemies. The ring.
Artifact dropped.
1 out. Door to Temple Island. Door to Temple Island. Clear.
Artifact returned. Artifact taken. RNA has possession. Artifact dropped.
Door to Temple Island.
36. RNA wins. Game on. Artifact taken. Lineage has possession. Artifact dropped.
1 out. North side. North. Door side. Move. Floor.
Artifact returned.
1 human. Door side. 1 more. Door side. Door side. Door hall.
Oh my god. I ran into the wrong guy. Nice.
Floor clear. Backup. Door ledge.
Artifact taken. RNA has artifact dropped. Artifact returned.
Let's go.
Game on.
Yeah, we need that call now. Oh, that was a bad round.
Artifact taken. Lineage wins. Game on.
Outside, north side platform.
What we got shredded. Red Getty. Loco.
Two enemies under our
Artifact taken. RNA has possession. Artifact dropped. Artifact taken. RNA has but artifact dropped. Artifact returned. RNA wins. Attrition. Game on.
Move caverns. 2 enemies. Move caverns. Big hole. 3 clear. Enemies. Caverns. Move caverns. Three enemies. Caverns. Three enemies. Caverns. 6 enemies. Sacrifice pit.
Lineage wins. Game on.
Move caverns. 2 enemies. Move caverns. Move red. 2 enemies. Caverns. 1 troll. Red room. Move back caverns. One dwarf. Caverns. 5 enemies. Caverns.
Game on. Lineage wins. Game on.
Move, caverns. Move, caverns. Two enemies scattered. Two control control. One out. Two enemies, floor. Two enemies, floor. Four enemies, floor. Move, caverns, two enemies. Three enemies, entered. One out, floor. Two enemies, floor. One enemy, floor. One out, floor. Floor, clear. One out, One out, floor. One out, red ladder. One out, balcony.
Artifact taken. RNA has possession.
One out, big hole. One out, big hole.
Artifact dropped.
One out, backyard. One out, red one. Move, sacrifice pit. One out, big ladder.
RNA wins. Game on.
One out, deep tunnel. Two enemies cannons. Big tunnel. Wow, above big hole. Two enemies, big tunnel. Two enemies, big tunnel. One out. Deep tunnel, clear. Two enemies, floor. Floor out, floor. Move, deep tunnel. One out.
Game on.
Move, caverns.
Free up. Thanks.
One out, red room tunnel. One out, balcony. Four enemies, cabin. Four enemies, cabin.
Lineage wins. Game on.
Move, sacrifice pit. Two enemies, caverns. Two enemies, caverns. Need backup, entrance, five enemies. Two enemies, caverns. Two enemies, caverns. Sacrifice pit clear.
RNA wins. Game on.
One full, sacrifice pit. One full, caverns. One full, caverns. Need backup, big hole. Caverns. Caverns, clear. One elf, big hole. One elf, caverns. Need backup, sacrifice pit. Need backup, caverns.
Tree planet.
Caverns, clear.
Fire in the hole!
floor clear. One elf, Dragon Hall. One elf, deep tunnel. Move, floor.
RNA wins. Game on.
Move, big hole. One elf, big hole. One elf, deep tunnel. Pit ladder clear.
RNA wins. Game on.
Two enemies, sacrifice pit. One troll, sacrifice pit. One troll, sacrifice pit. Need backup, cover. Big hole, two enemies.
I guess I'll stop the stream there because my controller keeps